I'm just gonna remake this video real quick because the last one I made had a little bit of an error in it. I want to clarify. Um, so when it comes to charting, I always start with as high a time frame as possible. So I'm going to start doing metals. So here I have gold and silver. So starting out on the 6 month time frame, for me, the way I find EQ of X range is I look for the most recently manipulated highs and lows in that right expansion or most recent move, right? So for this expansion move here, looking at price, right, we currently do not have a correctly manipulated high yet. And also, if we look down here, right, the last low to be correctly manipulated was this low. And once that happened, right, that's what caused the expansion here. So I'll take this low and pull it to the high. And then on the other assets, do the same thing. Now notice on this one, that did not occur here, but I can still take that low, which will give me that current range. Put out a rebalance point for the 6 month area, and then drop down, right? Now in this case, we can see not a lot that is very telling because of the difference in distance between gold and silver and their rebalance points. However, on the monthly, um, really the only reason I'm pulling these ever is to find out what PD arrays are lying in discount, right? And then based on that, are there any lows um, that have not been manipulated yet, right? So, um, for instance, let's just say, right, this is how it was. Okay, so prior to, right, current price, this is what it was looking like, right? We had this low unmanipulated in this, right, 1 month fair value gap or BISI located here. Um, and that same is here, but this is the one that's in discount, right? Now, if we just like played that through, like what had happened, just close it out, it's fine. We can see, right, that low was this low. Price ends up coming down into discount of this overall higher time frame range and manipulating it. Um, so we can see, right, this overall range price comes into discount of it, right, to manipulate this low inside the gap, right, and that low gets manipulated here. We do currently have, right, correct manipulation, right, this candle, this is a weekly candle with correct PO3. It was an open low that closed back inside the range, sweeping this low. And so again, using this information on the 6 month, right, monthly, weekly, we just keep walking it down, right? And so we just start applying. Well, you should be applying your rules or logic that you have in framework for your trading setups. So in this case, right, we can just apply what we already know from how markets respond using the algorithm. This is a set of consolidation, right? Can't reverse from consolidation. We can only manipulate and then expand. Well, right here, obviously correct manipulation with correct PO3 back, right? In discount inside a higher time frame PDROA, manipulates correct PO3, closes back inside, right? So we can just expect what EQ of X range the other direction and vice versa. Um, and so given that, right, then we can just continue to monitor price and see where it decides it wants to go, right? We have reached the higher time frame rebalance point to have and support a healthy expansion over here on silver, right? Gold still could come down. Does it need to? No, because this asset already did. So we technically have EQ SMT going on right here. Um, and so then after we know that higher time frame information, then we can just spend our time marking out and monitoring the lower time frames. So given that, right, key level was hit, right? We are now coming back inside the range, moving the other direction on the weekly. So we'll measure that out on both, and then we'll go down to the daily, and we'll sit here and I have not been, back testing, monitoring gold or any metals or anything outside of NQ and YM. So this will be the start for me, but applying the same rules and logic, right? We just start building out the same, um, you know, blueprints, right? And watching order flow, right? So now we have this range, EQ of it. We're supporting previous week's EQ inside of a PD array in discount, right? And so then we just wait and see how does price respond moving forward from there, right? Do we get an open low double SMT down here or whatever the case may be, right? But again, we trade based off time, so we need to build framework to monitor it based on, right? So anyways, that's just a little video. Hope that helps.